What's up, Taiwan? How's it going? I'm Leslie Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The return of overseas tourists to Taiwan has been slow despite a gradual lifting of COVID restrictions. Analysts don't expect tourist numbers to recover until at least the end of the year. And as John Van Trieste reports, this has hotels looking for other kinds of customers.
It's been almost 2 weeks since Taiwan reopened to tourism. But the lobby of this hotel, just 20 minutes from the country's largest airport, is quiet. There are few international guests, so they're appealing to a domestic market.
目前呢，出国的游客其实蛮多的，所以饭店有推出早班机专案，会含接驳。那另外呢，在出差的这个部分呢，我们的商务客呢也比以前多了。
Since border restrictions were eased on October 13th, there have been around 10,000 people arriving in Taiwan daily. But that's much less than the government-set cap of 150,000 per week. One reason the number of overseas visitors remains low is that the opening isn't a complete one. Before the pandemic, Hong Kong and Macau were major sources of visitors. But tourists from these places and the rest of China are still not allowed in.
在未来的话，以及现在，我们都是会先以国内的旅客为主。那也希望说，在之后呢，全面解封的时候，我们一样会有港澳的旅客可以回流过来。
The hospitality industry doesn't expect tourist numbers to recover until the end of the year.
最容易进来的，当然逻辑上是香港，但是现在还有一些限制存在，所以国际观光客要马上能进来，能够看到实际上的效果，大概要2-3个月左右的时间。
But there is optimism. The busy end-of-year holidays are just a few months away, and visitor numbers are expected to rise before the Lunar New Year celebrations in January. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's oyster farmers are struggling. Climate change and competition from abroad are leaving many wondering if they can continue. Yujing Huang reports.
Oyster farmers in the small southern town of Dongshi collect their harvest. This should be the busiest time of the year for these farmers, but many here are struggling.
今年收成就歹啊，因为今年就是蚵仔暴毙，比以往较侪。
Oysters are sensitive to the environment. Any change could upset the delicate balance of conditions needed for them to thrive. Climate change and pollution have both taken their toll on the harvest. And that's far from the only challenge facing these farmers.
越南蚵仔过来到这吼，一斤拢都130-4块啦。哦，伊即摆啦，咱本地哦，进一斤蚵仔都150啦，160块迄个左右安尼就对安尼啦。当然有影响啊。越南的蚵仔即摆较俗啊，就去顾着咱台湾，而且越南的蚵仔较歹食啦。
To gain an edge, some farmers are working to make their produce more appealing. Oysters bred in baskets like these are meatier than other varieties. But many farmers believe the government needs to intervene.
希望说政府单位在这各方面的技术还有农具资材上面能给我们更大的协助，让这个产业继续延续下去。
Farmers want the government to require that the country of origin is clearly labeled whenever oysters are on sale. Authorities have yet to commit, saying instead that they are investigating why Taiwan's oysters are dying at such an alarming rate. Which means, for now, these farmers can only hope that they'll survive for another year. Alex Chen and Yujing Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Another group of aquaculturalists having a hard time are fish farmers. They've been struggling since China banned Taiwanese grouper fish this summer, closing what had been by far the largest market. Now, Taiwan schools are helping recoup losses by putting the fish on the menu in their cafeterias. John Van Trieste has the story.
Lunchtime at a school in southern Taiwan. Today's menu includes a special treat.
那个咬出来都是那个油，超好吃的，放进嘴中就入口即化。
Once known as the pride of Taiwan, the grouper fish industry developed here in the early 2000s when relations with Beijing were on an upswing. 90% of grouper exports were being sold fresh to China. But in June, China abruptly banned imports, citing excess chemicals and antibiotics. This followed earlier bans on other produce like pineapples and sugar apples. Taiwan officials say the ban is political, an intimidation tactic employed by China against the island nation it claims as its own. With some 17,000 tons of grouper raised in a year, officials have been looking for ways to help the fish farmers with their surplus.
在全国各地的3600多所学校陆续提供。
The plan is to serve grouper once a month until the end of the year. But the rollout has been slow, and it's unclear if it will be extended beyond December.
4次嘛，这到学期末是4次了。那这个确实的次数到时候会再增加还是怎么不晓得。当然，站在孩子的立场，好吃的话当然是常常吃很好啊。
It seems they do like it, a lot.
当然是希望希望下次可以用其他烹调方式。
Serving grouper at schools won't be a fix-all. Even supermarket promotions and new export markets have only made a small dent in farmers' losses. But local communities are determined to do their part and keep looking for ways to help out the grouper industry. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei is gearing up for its annual Pride Parade this weekend. In the lead up to the event, more than 100 cyclists from Taiwan and abroad completed a 200-kilometer ride to raise money for LGBTQ charities. As Rick Liao reports, the largest event of its kind in the region is gaining momentum.
When Alex Chen was growing up in central Taiwan's Taichung City, communities like this one weren't visible. Now he's among more than 100 LGBTQ people and allies who gathered in Taipei for Asia's largest queer cycle ride.
对我的生活最直接的影响就是我会觉得自己变得更健康、更强壮了。但更长远的影响是，我觉得它让我看到一个以前觉得不可能实现的梦想被实现了。
109 cyclists biked more than 200 kilometers over 3 days, climbing 1,000-meter-high mountains and battling wind and rain, all to raise money for LGBTQ charities. Now in its third year, the Asia Rainbow Ride is part of Taiwan Pride celebrations. Back in full swing this year as Taiwan finally reopens borders after more than 2 years of strict COVID controls.
Taiwan is often described as the most LGBTQ-friendly place in Asia. The Pride Parade taking place in the capital later this month is the largest in the region. Organisers say that this cycle ride is about bringing the rainbow celebrations out of the city and into the countryside, bringing greater visibility to the community and getting more people involved in Pride events.
After a decades-long push, Taiwan made history in 2019 to become the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. And polls show attitudes towards LGBTQ citizens improve each year. But the community still faces stigma and discrimination, particularly in more rural places.
LGBT people are everywhere in the world, and so it's not that they're not in every corner of the world. It's just that we need to show our visibility and so that we can be stronger.
For the cyclists, it's a chance to be true to themselves in a community of people like them. An opportunity that is not afforded to many LGBTQ people in Asia.
I think it's great that Taiwan is making its name throughout the world. Being able to hold a big event like this, Asia Rainbow Ride, even though it's only taking place in Taiwan, I do hope this spreads.
Taiwan is leading its neighbours in LGBTQ rights in Asia, and the Rainbow Riders believe sporting events like this one can further push that cause. Klein Wang and Rick Liao in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A Taiwanese animated short called Impurrfection was featured at the recently concluded Chicago International Film Festival. The film, about a humanoid cat and an abandoned child, took 3 years to make. Its visuals were inspired by the hometown of producer Yiru Jiang in Hengchun in the very south of Taiwan. Jiang says the film uses Hengchun's old houses as its main setting and incorporates traditional Taiwanese elements in its animation. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images from the annual zombie bike ride in the U.S. state of Florida. Watch out, guys, they're learning. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.